Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm really trying to record this video about depression, but it's so hard and I don't even know where to start. So let's just talk about my experience with depression. A little background story. So I was dating a guy and our relationship was really going downhill. And I remember when it started to go downhill, it was because I was unsatisfied. I didn't want to be in the relationship anymore because I felt like it was drawing me away from God. And so even though I felt like the relationship was drawing me away from God, I didn't want to leave that relationship. So that was error one. It was the fact that deep down I knew this relationship is causing me to go farther away from God, yet I still want to stay. And I remember at this time I would hear a voice that would say, you break up with him. And so like I would be doing the randomest things, like maybe I'm in the shower, maybe I'm in my room cleaning, I could be doing homework, and I'll hear that and I'll be like, no. And mind you, at the time I didn't know what the Holy Spirit sounded like. I didn't know what God's voice sounded like. Anytime I would hear someone say, oh, I heard the Lord say blah blah blah, I didn't understand that. So I was hearing that, but then I would just ignore it. And so as I started to hear that voice, it started to cause me to be uneasy because I was staying in that relationship, yet I kept having a feeling that I needed to leave, but I wasn't leaving. I wasn't really seeking God about it. I didn't really pray about it that much, and I ended up doing something so stupid. But because I was so unsatisfied, I was like, okay, bump you. I'm gonna go like talk to somebody else, and like I told you, I don't want to be with you anymore, and he wouldn't listen. And so this caused a really dramatic experience in our relationship. And when I realized like, oh, I messed up, I really messed up, he was like, nah, I don't want to be with you anymore, I don't want to be with you. So that's the part that caused me to enter a state of depression. At this point, I'm chasing after somebody that does not want to be with me, and I almost became prideful because I'm like, me? How can you not want to be with me? Like, I'm the best thing ever. Like, I've been a really good girlfriend. I've just been like, I have a good head on my shoulders. I love God. Like, how can you not want to be with me? And so it was like 3 months of like trying to pull that relationship back, like just trying to get this thing to work. And it was just like, no. Like nothing was working. I could not work this relationship out. And mind you, I had put my identity in that relationship. I had put my all in the relationship. I gave my all. And at the time, I didn't know my worth. I didn't know that as a female, you shouldn't chase a boy. Like, sadly, I didn't know that. And that's the reality of it. People will mock me. People will laugh and say, well, you're dumb, blah, blah, blah. But that was just the case. That was the case at the time. And so I remember in particular one night, I drove to his place just to, see if things could be rekindled again. And I wanted to see like, oh, maybe this thing will work out. Like maybe it will work out again. And when I got there, I think I saw like girls walking out of his house. When I tell you guys, I was crushed. And he was kind of avoiding me. He was avoiding me, but he wasn't very vocal about not wanting to be with me anymore. So I was kind of lost, like trying to figure out, okay, maybe we could work this out, maybe we can't. But he kind of held me on as a string, so it wasn't clear whether or not we were gonna continue to be together. I drove home that night and I was crying like my guts out, just crying. And I remember crying. Me, my dumb small self, was crying to God, like, why? Like, what's going on, God? Like, how could this happen? I was so angry. So from that day, I entered that depressed mode. I just stayed in my room. Sometimes I couldn't sleep, sometimes I wouldn't eat, I lost a lot of weight. And the thing is sometimes about depression is you can be depressed and sometimes nobody will know, because when you go outside, if you ever do, you put your smile on, you smile, you laugh, but then when you come back home to your reality, that's when all the thoughts hit you, everything hits you. And I remember even getting to the point where I felt like, why am I even here? I'm sorry, but it makes me so sad that, you know, I could get to a point where I was wondering, why am I on earth? Just because someone didn't want to be with me. And I think the reason it hurt so bad also was, it wasn't only because this person doesn't want to be with me. It was also because, like, I was falling away from God, and God was saying, oh, you have to leave, you have to leave. I knew I had to leave that relationship, but I wanted it so bad because I was so used to it. I wanted it so bad because my emotions were there. My emotions were tied into it. And the Lord was saying, you need to leave. And I didn't listen. I wanted that relationship so bad. And that was a very bad place to be for me, because now I kind of felt like I disappointed God. I felt like I'm supposed to be giving all my love, all my attention to God, yet I'm chasing after a boy. I'm chasing after a relationship that's dead, that's toxic, that's causing me pain. So how can I be choosing this dead relationship over God? And I think that's the part that hurt me the most. It wasn't so much of this guy doesn't want to be with me. It was the fact that I felt like I disappointed God. I felt like I was putting shame to God. And I would be in my room, just, you know, I would cry. I was in school as well, so I wouldn't go to class. I would barely do my work. You know, the thing about depression is sometimes it's your thoughts. You start thinking negative thoughts, and it's like a dark cloud comes over you. And you just get so lost in those thoughts. You sit on your sadness. You sit in your pain. You literally sit in your pain and you feed off of that pain and you cry that pain out. That's what I did for a really long time. And there was even one time where, you know, I started to even cut myself a little bit. And when I think about it now, I'm just wondering, how did I get to that point? How did I get to that point where I'm harming myself? So, by God's grace, because God is always waiting for us, He's always just waiting for us to come back into His arms, I started worshiping, because I love to sing, and I love singing to God. And so I would just sit in my room and I would listen to music, Christian music. That's how I overcame that situation. I would listen to Christian music, and I know there's a song by Stephanie Gritzgringer, I think that's her last name, and it's called You Know Me. And the song goes, you know every detail of my life. Wherever I go, you'll find me. Then nothing is hidden from your sight. For you are God, and you don't miss a thing. So, I don't know if you guys heard the words, but when I heard those lyrics, it said, nothing is hidden from your sight. You know every detail of my life. You are God and you don't miss a thing. It helped me see that God sees this depression. God sees my broken heart. God sees my pain. God sees what's being done to me. He sees it. It's not anything that he misses. Like, he can see it all. He sees me crying. He sees me. And he knows me. And that's what the song is called. It's called You Know Me, and he knows me. And so I thought about that and I said, wow, like, if God knows me, if he sees everything that I'm going through, that means that he has the solution. If he knows what I'm going through right now, if he can see it all, that means he has a solution for it. And so I rested on that. I rested on that. And it was that, those lyrics and that revelation that helped me to turn to God. The person I am now, the woman I am now comes from that dark place that I was in. And I just want to encourage you guys too, is that you'll never get out of that depression until you reach out to God. If you're not reaching out to God, you're gonna stay there. I could have stayed there. I could have stayed in that depression. I could have stayed in that dark place, but no, it's not my portion. It's not your portion to be depressed. It's not your portion to be sad. God doesn't want you to be sad. He doesn't want you to be depressed. He doesn't want you to be in that state. If I knew now what I knew then, if I knew that depression is demonic, if I knew that depression is a spirit, I would have been praying all around my room. Now, anytime any spirit of sadness, anger comes over me, I reject it, I rebuke it. I say, in the name of Jesus, I reject this depression. I reject this discouragement. I reject this anger, because all of that is demonic. At times those things are demonic, and because we are children of God, because we are daughters and sons of God, we have the authority and we have the power to say, no, I'm not dealing with anger today. No, I'm not dealing with depression today. So the advice that I would give is to know that God does not desire or will for you to be depressed. He does not desire for you to be sad, and heck, he doesn't desire for you to be in a bad relationship, in a relationship where you're being cheated on, where you're being cussed out at, where you're being beaten and you're being abused. He doesn't will that for you. Understand that, grasp it, grasp that, and then pray on it. Understand that God doesn't want that for you. And if you love yourself, if you truly love yourself, then you'll go after God and you'll see what he wants for you. So this video is a little bit longer than I expected, but I think that's pretty much it for today. I thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions about this topic, please, I'll put my Instagram down below so you guys can DM me, or my email, whatever, comment, questions. If anything in the story didn't make sense, just let me know. And bye guys.